All right. How you guys doing?
What's going on, man?
Just got back from my road trip, and I'm telling you,
Welcome
man,
back.
I'm still recovering.
Yeah, it takes a bit. You need a vacation from the vacation.
Oh, I know it takes forever to get back into the role. How are you doing? How's
I'm
your
great, man. I'm
yeah.
nursing a hamstring injury, but
Oh
besides
no,
that,
you got a
I'm good,
hammy.
man.
Was it with the
Yeah.
kids or was it actual
Oh
physical
no, it
exertion?
was extreme physical exertion for an old man. 2 days in a row, anyways. Yeah,
Oh, that's
I play in a
painful.
basketball tournament or league, and we signed up our first league back from COVID, and we got in the A League. It's called the B League. We didn't know it was the B League or was the A League. So we're playing against the
Oh,
best
the
basketball players in
A-League.
San Diego. Yeah. So first it was me and two buddies, and
Uh-huh.
then we brought on some guys that I knew, and we got smoked in our first 3 games, and then a guy tore his Achilles, another guy got his shoulder pulled out of the socket the same game. So I had to get replacement players, and I pulled my hamstring in the next game or the
Oh,
next
just
day.
F.
I went and played.
Uh-huh.
Can
Oh
you hear me?
no. So
What are you
yeah.
gonna say? Go ahead.
I was gonna say your video froze for a second, but we got you. It's
Yeah,
back.
yeah. We're dealing with some internet issues. They're trying to figure it out. So I may be spotty. I can always go to my cell phone if you think too. Let me
Oh, don't
know.
worry about it. As long as you're looking good, everything's
Yeah, I
okay.
don't care as long as the audio is good enough too. And
Right.
then so then finally I added some new players, and we just smoked the first place team. We got beat by a team by 52 points, and we beat them by 9 points this last game. So that's a 61 point turnaround in one game. So we got some new players, and they can play. So we're it's pretty solid. I like it.
And just a quickie, are you the oldest guy there or the youngest guy there?
No, I am in. Well, the three of us friends are all dad coaches, so
Got it.
we're all like the same age. But then I have a couple guys. They're all around the same. Oh, I like that dope. My orange sneakers. You know what? I love those. I got a new pair. So check this out. We'll get on topic. I got these ones right here. That are these trainers. They're like trail shoes, and I like them so much I had to get the orange ones. The orange ones are even cooler looking. So
Nice.
I'm set for about 5 years in shoes.
Speaking of Nike, I'm so addicted to their custom models where you get to
I know,
choose
man,
the
it's
colors.
fun.
So
I know.
there's that new Metcon 7 trainers.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
man, I just have so much
You
fun.
like them?
Yeah, I love them because
Are they
you
good
really
gym
need.
shoes?
Well, I have running shoes, and I keep
Mhm.
on the stability is an issue for me, right? So I
Yeah.
need something that's more stable for the side to side, and running shoes, not good. You could
Yep.
feel it like, not
For
good.
sure, dude.
So the trainers are perfect. They're really stable. I'm just waiting for my custom colors to come in. But yeah, it's like,
I
hey,
like it.
what's an extra $10 or $15 if it's going to be custom? You have fun with it. So definitely. So yeah, it's true. Bees video occasionally freezes every second, so it's like a high resolution freeze, right? So actually, that's a good question. You guys want him to be in a lower resolution but not freezing, or the occasional freeze at a higher resolution?
Yeah, I can go down. Let me see if I can kick down my resolution here.
And
We're gonna have issues with it because
Yeah. I gotcha. And
if I go to
also,
480, how does that look?
we're expecting Brian Whisper Stash to join us, give us his impressions of the Hisense dual cell. We're excited to hear about that as well from Brian. Now his microphone broke, so at any minute now he's going to jump on. So we'll see.
So between my lack of video and his lack of
A
microphone,
microphone, right? We'll just
may
have a
have-
close-up lip sync.
we'll just have to rely on FOMO as usual for the technical analysis, since you have the detailed information everyone
Right. Well, it's all on paper. It's all on paper, and it's all projection. And as we know,
Don't sell yourself short.
Hey, you have the X95J, and we'll get into it later, right? I'm just going to go through a couple of news updates for you all.
Sure.
But I have to say, both you and Classy were quite impressed. Given the lower number of dimming zones, you guys are more impressed than the dimming zones justified. And I think that's an example of the specs don't tell the whole story. Normally it does. Normally I see low dimming zones. I'm like, oh man, I don't know about this. But Sony's found a way to do something about it. And we'll get into some detail because I know a lot of people are like, they're saving up. They're ready to pull the trigger. I know David Weir has been saving up and ready to pull the trigger forever. And this is kind of exciting because, we're seeing for the first time that what I would say a maturity in the LCD TV space, right? I think LCD TVs are where they're supposed to be. They're not going to improve much. And, oh, wait, I just saw Brian pop in and out. Yeah, I think he's still struggling. They're kind of circling what we call moving the deck chairs around the Titanic, right? This is the end game for LCD TVs. They're doing this, they're doing that, but the improvements aren't huge. They're very subtle, and Sony is taking full advantage of those subtle improvements, whereas, Samsung's doing his thing, but TCL and Hisense, they're catching up as well. So this is pretty fun to talk about. But I think that's a good segue into a couple of news updates as we wait for Brian to get his connection in. He's popping in and out. All right, so we'll start with what I think is kind of cool. Bum-ba-dum. So here's something I think you'll find interesting, Brandon. The frame is now coming in an 85-inch and as well a 98-inch QN90A. So is an 85-inch frame, do you see that being really popular? I think it's going to be $4,000 for the 85-inch frame. But what really kind of is interesting to me is that the QN90A 98-inch. So let me set this up. The Sony currently is, here we go. Let me get the drama here. The Sony currently is $20,000 for this 100-inch. All right.
That's rough, man. That's rough.
Now, the QN90A, before I reveal the price, and you guys may know, right? Because the news is out there. Any guesses what the QN90A flagship Samsung at 98 inches costs relative to the $20,000 Sony X92J? Guesses, anybody?
I have no idea. I'd say like 12 to 15 grand, maybe.
Right. Yes, quite.
Am I in there?
You're very close.
Close.
Any of the viewers have a guess? Let me really quick here. I'm gonna drop.
I want to know. I don't want to give me if I'm too high or too low. Then I'll.
You are actually right at the border. We are talking 11,000. 11,000. Let me roll right here.
15 grand.
No, 11,000.
Yeah.
11,000. Let's say $11,000. $11,112. 98.
And that is that a QN90A? Like
that is. They're saying it's the QN90A 98-inch. No one has the prices yet except for the OLED Association, which is the link I have here. So they're the only ones revealing a price. Now, I reached out to Value Electronics because they are a retailer for Samsung, and Robert's checking up to see if this is the price he's going to be allowed to sell at. But the OLED Association is saying that it's $11,100. Now, it's suspiciously low to me, but I'll run away with it for now since that's what they're publishing. Everyone else, like The Verge and Tech Radar, they're saying, well, we don't know the prices yet, so we're not going to commit to any price. But if it's even close to 11,000, the Sony has got to change its pricing strategies, because I'm thinking that who would get the Sony? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. X95J, maybe, but X90J, man, I don't know, right? No. Hey, welcome, TechMed. Haven't seen you in a while. I hope all is well in Europe. And Cyborg GT spoke to Samsung specialist yesterday in local Currys, that's in the UK, and confirmed OLED from Samsung for 2022. So already the retailers are getting excited about their OLED. So yes, and I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking Samsung realizes that, you know what? We can't compete with OLED unless we have an OLED, because right now what we're seeing is OLEDs dropping in price, and that's why they're going larger too. You can't go 98-inch with an OLED because only LG Display, Mix OLED, and LG Display does not have the mother glass to get that large. But what are your thoughts on a 98-inch at around 11,000?
I mean, it's definitely better than 20,000 for the Sony, and probably it's great, probably a good deal. People will figure it out, people will buy it. But then I'm thinking, like, what are you going to do if it has a dirty screen? Like, dude, you're going to
I have a solution for that.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
so glad you brought that up. Hey, Brian. How's it going, buddy? Hey, Brian, did you catch the 98-inch Samsung we're talking about right here? Here, check it out.
What's up, dude?
Hey, buddy. We were just
You guys
talking
hear me or
about,
not?
you know how the Sony is selling the 100-inch for 20,000? Well,
Pretty-
get this,
Pretty low
98-inch,
volume.
98-inch, 11,000. What are your
wow.
thoughts? QN90A. We're not talking like the Q60A or Q7. This is the Neo QLED flagship 4K, $11,100. Now, I'm waiting for Robert to confirm that this is a price that he could sell it at, but the OLED Association is saying that they're going to sell it at around this price. Street price. This is not the MSRP. They're thinking this is where they're going to hit
Okay.
this street at $11,112.
It's a bargain.
Dude, Sony, man, this is going to be a pricing war. This is going to be a good Black Friday, as a lot of people saying.
Is the volume a little better or no?
Yeah, that helped. Whatever you just did helped for sure. Can
Hey,
you do it
class-
My
more?
microphone just broke as I was getting on. Terrible.
Classy is saying that he's seeing a distributor price for a 100-inch Sony is $14,000 right now. So it looks like that this is going to be an issue. Yeah, if the QN90A is coming out, let's just say 12,000, right? Just an even 12. Sony's got a problem. If they're selling to distributors and distributors are selling for 14,000, Sony's got a big problem here. And who's going to touch that, right? Unless the 2 inches make a difference. It's like $2,000 an
Well,
inch.
I've been told. No, I'm just joking.
Right. Yeah, I know what you're going to say, man.
I know.
Well, the
I
challenge
had
is
a-
what panel it is. You know, if it was the QN90A versus the X95,
That'd be better.
the
But
X90, which I can't
it's not-
understand why.
And the X90's got issues. We know that. Right.
With a 100-inch screen, you got to have some like anti-reflective properties. You know, you need to,
Yep. So what I wanted to address, because Brian, you came in just in time, right? What I wanted to tell Brandon, because Brandon said, wait a minute, what about the dirty screen effect and all those things? Because at this size, you're not going to want to swap it out. I mean, even a 75 or 85 inch is a problem, right? But would you do it at 100 inches? And how much is the extended warranty going to cost, right? You guys know it's a percentage of the cost. I mean, what, 2,000 or 3,000? Well, here's the big part. This is the part that I really think will be a game changer for Best Buy. I got an email from Best Buy, and if you pay for Total Tech, right, that's their new support program, for $200 a year, as long as you're on Total Tech, they will cover all your TV purchases like a Geek Squad protection for 2 years. So let's say over the course of 2 years, that's $400. Are you kidding me? It's like $400 on extended warranty on a $10,000 TV. That changes everything. And it's not just the TV. Anything you buy on Total Tech is covered under 24-month. I think Apple has their own thing, but I'm already a Total Tech member. So for me, this is like a no-brainer. So if you guys are getting these large TVs and you're looking at the Geek Squad and it's like, what? It's like $1,000 or $800. Get the Total Tech over 2 years. That's $400 over the course of 2 years, and you get to do a whole bunch of other stuff. The installations are cheaper and whatever, right? But that's just something to keep in mind. Would that assure enough of a warranty for you guys to get a large TV if we throw this in? What are your thoughts on that?
To me, 100 inches is projector land. It's just
too big for you, huh?
83 is.
Come on, you're the large guy.
Big TV guy, yeah.
I mean, I'm in the heavyweight division, but having an 83-inch OLED is very thin. But no matter how, the QN90A is not the thinnest panel in the world. Either is the X95. But at 100 inches, they're not going to look. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they're just going to be too big.
Well, I'll tell you, the QN90A, the 65-inch is 1 inch thick. Just under an inch thick, but that's the 65-inch. You're right.
Yeah, the 75-inch definitely felt bigger, and I imagine this will be much larger.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me because just the screen uniformity at that size, any kind of blooming at that size is going to be very, very hard.
Oh, hey Brian, they're saying your microphone's a bit soft.
You can still. No, it's fine.
That's cool.
I don't even have one.
You're good, man. We can deal with it. People are just, they want it perfect, but and rightfully
They want
so.
it perfect.
No, you're good, dude. Leave it. It sounds fine. I can hear everything you're saying.
I always feel like 85 was the limit for TVs. Just as far as having that kind of equipment in your house, you can get a short throw projector at 100 inches for $5,000. Hisense is beautiful. Saw it the other day. it's just a lot for a TV to, especially since, I mean, the QN90A is their flagship at least, but the X90 just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I know people even want an 80-inch TV. I can't imagine anybody that we know here wanting 100 inches.
Yeah, 85, even 85 inches tough to get a QLED or whatever, you know.
Yep.
By the way, that TV behind you looks pretty nice, dude.
Dude, the C1 at 83 is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Wait. So how
You
big is
have
the TV behind you? What is that? Is that the 85-inch C1 you got by there?
83, yeah.
83, yeah. Ah,
I mean,
It looks-
it
wow.
punches above its weight. It's definitely brighter than the other C series. I mean, it feels a lot brighter than my CX did. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yep. And well, now that you're here, this is a great segue. This question here, thank you, Travis Sylvania. This is what we've all been waiting for. Brandon, you've seen it. Brian, would you go LG QNED90 or QNED99 or Sony X95J? Forget the value argument. Okay, let's just take price out of the equation. They all cost the same. Same size, same price. Which looks better? We'll start with Brandon, then jump to Brian. Brandon, you have the Q99, you have the X95J. What do you think?
Well, I mean, at its best, I think the QNED99 is probably a little brighter, isn't it? But I mean, you know, when you start walking around the panel, it's kind of a tough call. I just, with the money taken out of it, and then you got the gaming chops on the QNED99, you know, I could see people saying maybe that, but I just felt like the X95J just was easier for me to like, and maybe it was because of the price difference. I don't know, you know, but I had both of them. I had 65-inch. The QNED99 kind of turned me off for its downside. It had a dirty screen and it had really bad angles. But then the X95J, I think I was easier on it because I knew it only had 60 dimming zones. So I wasn't like, I knew it had a little bit of lifted, you know, black color and black, and it wasn't perfectly black, but I just liked it better. So for me, I probably would get the X95J, but that's with cost not factored, it'd be maybe close.
Right. And
the
go ahead,
X90,
Brian.
no, I would definitely go X95 over that without thinking about it. The X99, on the other hand,
you mean the QNED99?
Yeah.
Is it the QNED? What's the? Oh, the yeah, the
You
that's
said
a-
the
LG,
X90,
yeah, the QNED 90, I wouldn't. The QNED 99 is definitely more premium, especially at the larger sizes. But to Brandon's point, the QNED, when the quality of content is great, it looks fantastic. But it has to be like 8K demos. The algorithm of their backlight, it behaves with certain things amazing, and then other things it totally gets wonky. Even some lower end demo material, you'd see the algorithm of the backlight would move around. It just seems like a work in progress, where the X95 just seems like, you know, an old veteran. The X95 off angle, the black bars are definitely purple, where the QNED, like the dual cell, the black bars are black as night. But it's still an IPS panel. It's still just very difficult for me because there's times where it doesn't look IPS, and there's times where it really does.
Yeah, that's a good analogy, man. The old veteran versus the flashy rookie.
It just
you know,
feels
it's like
complete. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just
You got
feels
like you can choose your quarterback. Do you want to go with like the Zach Wilson on the Jets, or do you want to go with Aaron Rodgers on the Packers?
Yep,
you know,
yep,
you got your.
Well, and I'll tell you, LG real quick. LG reminds me very much of Xbox.
Yeah.
You know, the CX is a totally different animal than it was when it was released. They just keep improving, they keep adding, they keep updating, where the other TVs just basically are what they are. And they basically, I don't see, you know, if they have an issue, maybe they update them. LG is like, oh, you want that game optimizer on last year's? Okay. You want Dolby Vision 120? Okay. So I like that they do that. It just makes it very difficult for me to recommend something that's not fully complete.
And you know, the game optimizer LG is pretty sweet. I like that.
It is.
It's pretty awesome.
It is.
I actually was going to put settings in my video, but I'm like, nobody wants to see my settings. I just cut it out and just put the game optimizer. That's it. I updated the software and showed the game optimizer, and that's it.
Hey, Brian, since you're talking about the TVs that you've seen, the only Simon is curious about, let's talk about the big one, U9DG the Hisense dual cell versus the QN90A, and while you're at the X95J. Now, where does the U90G? Let's throw out the price. At this point, we're just going to talk performance overall at the 75-inch size, because it only comes 75-inch. So you have a 75-inch Hisense dual cell, 75-inch Samsung QN90A, and the 75-inch X95J. Your choices, your thoughts. What do you think?
So the big challenge with the three of these is, again, the dual cells, again, a work in progress without question. It only came out a few days ago.
Yep.
It definitely, though it's a QLED, it doesn't feel colorful, if that makes sense. So it has to be calibrated. It had very convoluted operating system. You know, I know Brandon talked about this with the TCLs. Where
so is it Android TV though?
It's an Android from what I understand. But
okay.
When Brandon had mentioned with the TCLs, having to step out of the menu to hit, when you were going from cinema to standard, you have to literally move it, click it, and it backs you out. So you can't. So it's a little hard for us as veterans to really, you know, that's not elegant. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a little chunky.
You know, the Q90A is now been out for a year. It feels that way. It's the more mature of the three, and has all the gaming features. But for me, out of all three, the most complete for everyone is probably the QN90A, because it has the more dimming zones. It's mini LED. The Hisense, I think, is super impressive. The challenge I have with it is I don't really know who it's for. It gets nearly OLED black, but it doesn't seem to get bright as the X95 or the QN90A, but that's just for my limited time with it.
Right.
So
right.
Then you add the price to it. It's such a late bloomer that it's still so expensive compared to the others.
Agreed. Now, do you think the X95J would make up the difference with any of these TVs? Because as we get to the discounts, right? So X95J is still at its launch price, plus or minus $100. But once it gets to its street price for the next 6 months, what's the value proposition on the X95J then?
The problem with the X95 is the problem with Sony this year. Their gaming features are non-existent.
Okay. And
that's a real problem. You do have some VR support on the Hisense. They'll update like they have in the past. Sony is just, it's just a hard look. I have the C1 behind me, and in my comments, everyone says, dude, A90J, like I don't have a channel. Like I don't know the panel. Guys, I'd have it if it had even a quarter of the gaming features that I need. And that's really going to be the issue recommending Sony going forward. There's going to be, the 2 HDMI ports, the lack of VRR. These are things that are going to keep that panel behind a little bit, especially if we have where 4K 120 cuts the resolution. I don't know that yet. So like the 900H, I recommended that panel all day, and then it cuts the resolution. I feel terrible that I recommended it in that regard. I don't know if they're going to do that with the A90J or the A80. This dimming issue on the A80J with the OLEDs, where the ABL's kicking in stronger than the C1. So there's so much that Sony just cannot get completed.
Hey, Brian, I think this question is right up your alley.
Francis, what's up, player? I love that.
I'm
drinking, by the way.
This is your question, right? He got that 85-inch X95J. He ran the DSC hockey test, so basically he's got vertical and horizontal lines banding. Is this DSC, is it a bad panel? What do you think he should do? Should he call Best Buy or whoever, return it, exchange it, or is this as good as it gets? What are your thoughts?
LEDs do not get better over time. OLEDs do. Banding will dissipate on an OLED after the screen refresh after 100 hours, 200 hours. I think for OLEDs is the sweet spot. LEDs are the opposite. They are what they are. If it's bothering you now, Black Francis, you're going to have to replace it. There's just no, my recommendation, guys, when you get TVs, do not run tests on them right away. Watch your TV, because a lot of you guys
enjoy it.
I got one guy with 11 C1s because this pink thing, he's using the word magenta, which means he heard it somewhere else. Right. And now he can't unsee it. And I'm like, dude, you never would have seen that unless you keep rocking it. So Black Francis, I would return that. Sounds like a bad panel to me. But your next one, I would just watch content first before the hockey test and then see what you see. But I'd bring that one back, bro.
And speaking of watching and enjoying, this goes to Christopher's point. we're awesome. And if we're awesome, please click like, right? What does it, Brendan say? Come on, man. There's 200 of you.
Right
How
now,
come there's
yeah,
not
there's
200 likes, right? So, hey.
155 people haven't clicked like yet. So
Yep.
come on now.
Let's spread the love and get this out there. We're gonna have
That's
fun talking
that's
today.
my math skills right there.
That's all about.
Hey, while we're on it too, real quick, I got the fantasy football league set up. So if anyone is interested in playing fantasy football against FOMO, myself, KG, I don't know if Brian's gonna play. Brian, are you in? Or you're not a fantasy?
I don't have time to
no
break.
worries. It's okay, man.
I would
You
love
know what, Brian? We should put him on a robo. Do they have robo selection and robo everything?
I was just on a kayak. I'm like, what
if anybody wants to play, they can hit me up on Instagram, but they got to be like 110% in because we're going to give away prizes for the winners. So we're going to do a draft next on this upcoming Wednesday. I can do it 3:00 Pacific or 4:00 Pacific, whatever works. So everyone can get in it. And but definitely, if you want to play, you got to be in 100%. We don't want anyone bailing at the draft, and it's going to be a live stream draft, and we're going to have the results like on the screen and everything on Wednesday. So it'll be fun. It'll be
That
awesome.
is going to be fun. Wait, are there going to be prizes, Brandon? I forgot to ask you.
Well, we talked about it. I mean, you said maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to throw in some prizes.
We got some people that will be. I mean, we got a few little sponsors that would throw some stuff in, but okay. I'm happy. Listen. I'm not charging anyone to be in the league, but if you're going to be in the league, you got to play hard.
Yep.
So we got to. That means we have to motivate these people, which means on Wednesdays on these live streams we can talk about how bad our team played or how Amanda Spears beat me this week or whatever.
Amanda Spears.
She says she wants to play, so she's in. She says she's in. But we got to get people. We got to get people that want to play 100%, and I'm going to put it up on my channel and everything. So we'll get 10 or 12 teams and we'll have a good time. And
remember, Amanda's a gamer. She's like, dude, I game. Come on now. So she is going to be in it to win it. All right. Hey, thank you for the super chat, Cyborg GT. Also spoke to a Sony rep. Here's a VRR update you've all been waiting for. The Sony rep told him, waiting for the PS5 VRR update before they update the TV. And that's, I think, what we've been talking about. They're going to bundle it all in one firmware. Now, hey, reps, they say what they say. It makes sense to me, but what do you guys think? And I know, Brian, you're behind this. You got a lot of stressed out people. Do you think this is happening? Did you hear anything from Robert maybe corroborating this? What are your thoughts?
So the challenge, I'll keep Robert out of it. The challenge is this. They'll have it. The thing that we've talked about off camera, all of us, is will it be any good? So my concern isn't are they going to have it? I know they'll have it. They can't risk not having it. My question is it going to be like Panasonic's where they just have it and say, hey, look, man, it's done. So I guarantee you guys will have it. So to keep telling me it's coming, yes. But I've been telling you for the last 2 years that it's coming, but it's just not going to be what LG is doing. It's just not going to be. So if you're okay with a gimped version of it, which I promise you it will, even Denon had an adapter that's not working right now. So
not with LG for sure.
Not with
it
LG,
has issues.
The best TV for it.
It's a gaming TV, right?
You guys have to buy that on that promise. I guarantee you it'll be there. Will it be any good? I don't know. I will say that I use it every single day with LG. So it's something that I clearly can't do without because I will tell you guys, seeing the Z9J, the A80J, which I have, the A90J, it was very easy for me to buy the C1.
Agreed.
Just based on those features. Yeah, I was going to ask about Robert. Yep.
Here's a great question for Robert Risch. I was going to jump in real quick. I hope to get some information to help decide between the X95J and the QN90A. 1, is there a difference in how well they handle lower resolution for 8720 1080 material? And 2, what value add for the Q Symphony? So I'll start, since this is stuff that I've addressed previously. X95J, I believe, and I agree with a lot of the assessments, Sony this year with the XR chip is doing the best job of upscaling low resolution material. 1080, they all look pretty good. When you go down to 720 and 480, the XR on either the X95, A80, A90, it's just killing it right now. So if you are really watching 480, I think the X95J will do a better job upscaling than the QN90A. Now, the value add for the Q Symphony, what perfect timing. Sony's X95J has its version of Q Symphony, which I haven't heard it yet. I'll have it. I believe its version with the HTA9 will be better than Samsung's Q Symphony with their soundbar. Now, that's speculation on my part. And the reason I'm speculating this is because the AT or the A9, the HTA9 that's coming out, every one of those four speakers will have a microphone that will be calibrated to the room. This is the first time they're doing that. They will then integrate with the X95J and make that your center channel. So all 5 speakers will interact with the room and be optimized for your room. It's the first time any TV maker has integrated with a speaker system in that way. And to me, that's totally exciting. So we'll see how good that is. I'll be comparing it with a high-end surround system, my Trinov, and we'll see how close it gets. But yeah, how about you guys? What are your thoughts, Brian, on the X95J and the QN90A as it pertains to upscaling?
So, Robert, with the questions that you're asking, you have to ask yourself a question first. Do you want Dolby Vision? Dolby Vision is important to me. Or do you want the gaming features of the Samsung? Upscaling, Samsung's always been great, but as Fomo said, if you're really watching a lot of standard definition, which I watch none, so I will tell you the A80, the A90, they're all the X95. The cognitive processor is definitely a big jump, but if you have to again ask yourself, are you watching a lot of that content? It's really hard to make a purchase based on the percentage of standard def content that you're watching. So if you're watching a lot of that, I mean, yeah, the cognitive is there, but the question goes back to you: do you want Dolby Vision, or do you want HDR10 Plus and the gaming features that come with Samsung? So that's it for me. They're both very good LEDs that they're approaching things different ways, but the question has to go back to you on if you need those 2 features.
Agreed. Yeah, gaming. No mention of gaming. If gaming is important to you, that adds advantage that Sony doesn't have, especially if you are playing on the Series X, where you may need VRR in the future, right?
But Dolby Vision is on everything now, so I guess that's the thing about
that's
Dolby
another
Vision.
thing.
It used to be everything I stream now. Apple TV's Dolby Vision, movies that you buy are Dolby Vision. So Robert, if that's important to you, then Samsung, again, just like Sony and its gaming features, is making the decision for you.
Yeah, agreed. Hey, Andy, thank you for the super chat. Have you heard that Android TV 11 is going to support match frame rate for internal apps? Should help motion issues from Netflix, Disney Plus. I haven't heard it yet, but yeah, this sounds like they're following the Apple TV's match frame rate. It could only help. Now, to the degree that it's great, it works well, we'll see. So, Andy, once it is upgraded, or actually everyone keeping track all the content you're getting off of the stream where you have motion issues, right? We know the Army of the Dead has motion issues in that certain scene, but as you guys watch your streaming, keep track of those where you see a motion issue. Once we get this update, let's see if match frame rate helps it, and then we could make the comparisons. Let me know what you want me to test, either Netflix or Disney Plus, and we'll try it out with the new match frame rate, because assuming Android TV, this match is going to go to the Google TV, then we could test it on the Sony TVs as well. So great question there. And look at this super chat.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
hey,
much love.
Let's give them love. Hey, Shango 1504, I rarely post, but I wanted to say thank you, and a big thank you to you guys for your videos, as it helped me in my decision to purchase the 83-inch A90J. Look at you, B, mounting and all that great stuff. It's spectacular in my living room. Love it. Now, the HTA9 or the HTA7000? Come on, you got to go with the A9. I cannot imagine.
You gotta put some bows with that monster TV.
Yeah.
Bro, you got the best TV in the year easily at 83. God damn.
Yes.
Wait, and so what's he saying here? Throw that back up there so we can talk about it for a second. There.
Yeah. There you go.
He took from you.
He has to move it because he would want to cover Brian up. My bad. So wait, HT9, the HTA9 or the HTA7000? You guys know the difference between those two? I mean, one isn't one
the A9 is the one. Well, the A9 is what I was talking about. It will make your TV a part of the entire system.
Oh,
and the A9 has those 4 satellites with the microphone. The A7000 does not have any of that, and it has a sound bar. If you don't want a sound bar, the A9 makes your TV that center soundbar. It is so clean, and you don't have to put all 4 speakers at ear level. It could be at whatever height, here or there, as long as it's in 4 corners, and boom. It's going to be great. I'm
I'd
I've
imagine they're
heard.
both pretty good. But
I
yeah,
think it's 13 phantom channels or something ridiculous. Like I have
Oh,
13,
12 phantom channels.
yeah,
Absolutely.
so I have
Yeah.
11.2 in here, and God, if you can give me that with 4 little things in the corner, I'll do it. I
Yep.
mean, that would be great.
yeah. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm glad that our videos help, and those both sound like good options. I don't know. I haven't heard either one of them, but I will probably be getting some access to some more of the Sony audio stuff coming up soon. So I hope to check some things out, soundbars. Maybe I'll get a chance to try those with my A90J. That'd be dope. I would consider those 4 satellites, like putting them kind of in the corners of the room. That'd be pretty sweet.
What's cool is you don't have to have them the same ear level. They'll literally, you have one on the floor. You can hide it behind something.
My only concern is that sometimes I have some. The A90J, like with any TV, still has its issues when you try to use the TV speakers with like it's louder in some content, it's quieter with other content. So I have the volume at like 70 for one thing and then 30 for another. And so it's still like, honestly, I could put in my Sonos Arc, blows it out of the water. Obviously, it's $1,000, sound bar. But for me, it's like if I have that big TV there, I gotta have good sound. So I have not used the center channel as a center. I'm sorry, I have not used the speakers as a center channel with a dedicated home theater, which I think could bring a lot more power. But I am interested in trying all of the above and seeing what's up, and I got to get doing it because I've been telling people I'm gonna do it for a while.
I think you'll like the HTA9 because it also has a subwoofer option thrown in there. And what it's going to do is it's going to limit the frequency response of the TV so that you don't have to go below its strength, right? Yeah, if it goes
it's just going to use its center too, right? It'll just dedicated center, so it won't be messing around with the side yet.
And it follows the vocals in the center. So wherever the motion is in the TV, it'll try to follow the sound on the TV. So that'll be interesting to see.
I'm interested to see it.
Great question here. Isn't the 4K what 720p TVs used to be back then, and then it was the full HD 1080p, which can now be interpreted as 8K? Do you agree with this analogy? Should I wait and get 8K? So, Serge, it's going to be a long time before we get 8K content. We have 4K content right now. You're going to enjoy it now. Native pixel to pixel is going to look awesome. Everything in 8K will be upscaled until 8K content and source is going to be a thing. And I'm thinking more than 5 years from now, because Hollywood has no reason to go to 4K. They go back to 135 millimeter, 35 millimeter, and capture analog and then transfer to 8K that way, than to capture straight to 8K, because the workflow, the memory, the processing, the time consumption, it all costs money, and we're not there yet. But yeah, maybe in 10 years. So I wouldn't get 8K now, and don't wait for 8K because you're going to miss out on these amazing TVs over the next 5 years waiting for 8K to be a thing, right? What do you guys think?
Well, unfortunately, too, 8K, if you look in regards to Samsung, it's behind their flagship for 4K. So you're literally paying it for the bragging rights, which goes against you when your panel's double the price at launch. And being somebody who's gamed at 8K, a lot of the guys in the chat that are console gamers, you've just discovered 4K 60. There's no way you're going back to 8K 30 or 8K 20 with heavy motion blur. So many of us are ready for quick response, and 4K is the new sweet spot that everything looks very good in. 8K, it's just the bandwidth.
I was going to say.
It's just not there.
Bandwidth,
You're going to have to be streaming at like a half gig just to get download,
And it's compressed. It's a compressed bandwidth. So it's not even real 8K. It's going to be fuzzy 8K,
Well, and not to mention, guys, I mean, we're looking at, and I'm going to do this in a tech therapy video about the death of physical media. A lot of you guys are like, hey, Apple TV's got 4K. Go to HBO Max for me and tell me how many of those movies are HD.
Nope.
5.1. And so we're actually, if you're going 8K, the upscaling, which is not everyone thinks upscaling means it's going to be cleaner. It's always going to look worse. It almost never looks better. That's why the cognitive processor is so. And Robert, who's still in the chat, Robert, then I would go with the X95 if you're watching that kind of content. Just segue. But 8K, it's just, there's really just no reason for it. I mean, if our GPUs could do it and it had some gaming, but the consoles they're just never going to get there. And if they do, they might do 8K 30, but very few of you are going to want to go backwards.
right now, everyone, the only reason to get 8K is the TV may have the best technology. So throw 8K aside. Whether it's Sony or Samsung or LG, they're putting better speakers, better processing. They're going to strip out the 4K quality stuff so that you have to go 8K to get the good stuff. So it's not that the 8K resolution is better, but the TV simply is a better TV because everything else is better. And then it happens to have an 8K panel. And we're going to see that next year and the year after. So we're being forced into 8K, but today, your 4K TVs are so awesome, but tomorrow it may not be, right? I have my doubts that they're going to continue investing in 4K because the 8K, I mean, look at TCL. All their best stuff is in their 8K this year, right?
But this is what makes me mad with Samsung real quick because I'm about to get a little ranty.
Rant away.
Why are your OLED Samsung 4K? Why are you doing 4K OLEDs then? If you want us all to go 8K and you're forcing people 3 years ago to get the Q900R to have 8K that never showed up, why are you now going to say, oh yeah, by the way, our OLEDs are 4K?
Yeah.
And TCL and those other guys at 8K, sorry, you don't have the processing to handle 8K. So I love the budget brands, but come on, guys.
I got to jump in there. So this is, I know some people may have missed this. I caught this right before my break. So TCL, they are vertically integrated. They have a chip company that makes SoCs, just like MediaTek. And I think on my last live stream, I mentioned, I think it was on KG's live stream, I said, y'all know that Skyworth has chosen TCL for its SoC and image processor for its top of the line OLED TV that they're selling like $3,000 or $4,000 in China. They didn't go with anyone else. So TCL has the ability to make a very good processor. So we may not see it on the TVs this year. Well, maybe the OD0, right? Maybe the OD0. They're there. And that's scary for everybody else. So they're looking at what Sony's doing, and you're like, you know what? Let's reverse engineer this XR chip. It's going to be interesting over the next few years to see how quickly TCL will rise. But I'm pretty excited about the competition out there. Hey, Don B, thank you for that. Sony already can extract 24 FPS from a 60 FPS stream with Cinemotion active. I don't understand how it would need beyond that. So good point. Maybe on a Sony, it's not a big deal. However, we don't know how much better it could be with frame matching. So until we see it in action, we'll find out. Now, this is a great question for all of you. Hey, Bat Tech, a regular. Now that you guys have your new TVs, awesome TVs, Brian, FOMO, Brandon, are you guys ready to switch to something new and better next year? We'll start with you, Brian. What? Are you ready to move on already? What's happening? What is your plans?
Honestly, I'm buying this year with confidence because I really haven't seen, even with the A90J and the A80J, to me, their biggest jump forward was not the peak brightness, it was the processor. So next year, LG may do a heatsink. I personally think LG made a deal with Sony to not have the heatsink until this year. I personally think we'll release a 83-inch G1 or whatever it is next year. But I've been in the game long enough that I won't chase 5%, 7%. And something I want to say to all you guys in the chat, you got to start enjoying some kind of content.
Stop watching patterns, right?
You gotta watch content. I mean, take it from me. I sat there yesterday playing just COD with Atmos, and I lost my basement for almost a year. But I know what it's like to want to chase every number and want to wait till next year. We're not in between resolutions right now. 8K is not going to just blow up next year. So you want to wait till Black Friday. You want to wait till next year. You're missing about 100 games. You're missing 1 million movies. You just kind of got to buy and then just start watching because you're waiting for 12-bit color. It won't be real 12-bit. You're waiting for a certain ATS antenna. It's just getting to be where nobody is. You guys got to buy something and just watch it.
Yep.
I'm just saying. There's so much good stuff out there. Oh, Brass Tax is in the chat.
Hey, another fellow YouTuber. How about you, Brandon?
There's some content, Brass.
Did he just get an OLED? Hey, Brandon, what about you? Are you looking forward to something new and better next year, or are you gonna hold off other than reviewing TVs? But I'm saying for your family, are you pretty happy with what you have now?
Yeah, I mean, to me, honestly, like I can't put a different TV in there. The TV to beat the A90Js, man. I mean, like I heard D Nice talking about it on your live stream or whatever. Like he was like planning on getting one, and then he got another, and then he got an
Mhm.
83. He's like, damn,
He's got them all.
now I have 3 of them.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing it was with me. Like, I got the 55 and immediately changed to the 65 for the bedroom. And then I was like, damn, this TV is really nice. And I got the 83, you know. I mean, it's amazing TV. So if Sony comes out, I mean, I don't know anything. Brian, do you know, are they trying to make another one next year that's going to pop this one? Or are they going to have this one for probably 2 years?
2 years.
It's a master series, so it'll umbrella. But I'm telling you, I guess my point is, we've gotten to a point now where even the Z9J, which is excellent, it still wasn't. It didn't make me buy a Z9J. Do you know what I'm saying? The technologies are where they are. Even the mini LEDs, they're not accomplishing anything that I've never seen before.
Oh, wait. Did the U90G, the Hisense dual cell, did it accomplish something you've never seen before?
Don't see one behind me, do you?
You're right. OLED is better. No, I'm with you.
I mean, my problem with the the problem with mini LED for me is it has fallen way short of what it promised. I want OLED blacks, and I don't want 1,000 nits. I need 3,000 nits.
Yeah.
You need me to be able to say, wow. And they just have not been able to do
the
that.
dual cell didn't wow you. I mean, deep blacks doesn't wow.
But you know what's funny with the dual cell is, you know, I don't have any brand prejudice. I was shocked at how good it was. The black level was fascinating. I mean, I was shocked by how good it was. The QN99, the black level was fantastic. Just not enough to still push OLED away.
Okay.
If you want to push OLED away, you need to have really bright specular highlights and just blow it away with brute strength. You can't try to beat OLED to beat OLED. You need to just beat the shit out. Beat the crap out of it.
You mean like the Z9J?
Yeah,
2,000 over 2,000 nits on a 1% window.
You got to go farther than that. You got to go farther than that. You got to go. It's got to just be brute force, and they're just not doing it.
And to your point, what you were saying, right? Just watch content. We have start learning to fall. Thanks for the super chat, my friend. Got his X95J this morning, and his wife is watching drama on it. Vivid mode, soap opera. No joke. And there you have it, right? As much
she's
as
watching soap opera in soap opera mode.
It's all right.
Nice.
I love it. But that's the thing, guys, right? Is as much as we beat these TVs up, Samsung knows where their strength is. It's in standard mode. Motion is soap opera. And you know what? It's the brightest TV out there in standard mode. You put them in accurate mode, it ends up looking, honestly, dimmer than an OLED. And a lot of people are complaining about the QN90A or the QN900. It's like, wait, if you put it in standard mode and, you know, maybe low enhanced contrast, super bright TV. But if you want accurate, it ends up being like an OLED more often than not, or less bright than an OLED. So I'm so glad that your wife is killing it with vivid mode, because I'm sure the X95J vivid mode is blinding, because that's a pretty bright TV, right, guys?
Yeah, it's very bright, but to your point, FOMO, I just unboxed a 75-inch QN90A, and
oh my god,
the more that I tried to make it accurate, the less LED-ish it became. So I was just like, wow, this is looking very dull. You have to enable some of the dynamic contrast at low, at least, you know. But I'll say even with the C1, it has 2 different eco modes. You know, one's hidden, so I think a lot of people unbox these. They're like, "Damn, this thing looks like you gotta really." There should be more. There just should be more explanation on how to unlock. I don't mean calibrating. I'm talking about just making them look decent.
Hey, TechMed Rainer Richter, nice to see you back. And as you know, he's still going with the QN900A. So that's the 8K flagship from Samsung, large and in charge. He doesn't miss Dolby Vision yet, but I have to admit that Samsung has to overthink or to rethink their strategy for next year's flagship. Yeah, and I think that's why they're doing the whole QD OLED TechMed, because at the end of the day, OLED's dropping in price. Sony knows where its strength is. Hit it hard with XR. I don't need to add dimming zones. And then you have Hisense with their dual cell, so they're going to out-black Samsung. You have Hisense being brighter than Samsung, but losing out on a few other things. Samsung has to be special. So this is a good point. What do you guys think Samsung should do? Not what it will do, but what should it do to stay ahead of the game? And I know, Brian, you've been kind of hammering
Brandon,
Samsung.
go. I'm talking too much tonight, Brandon.
You're fine, man.
Well, Brandon's chatting. That's why. I know Brandon's chatting. I don't want to interrupt.
I'm just trying to. No, you're good. I'm just trying to keep up. We're getting that football stuff organized. All that. No worries. I don't know, man. I think Samsung needs to get into the Dolby Vision game. I think it's just a matter of time before they will. You know, they got to. Like, what? At this point, it was one thing to say like we're going to go out on our own, but now Dolby Vision is the standard, dude. That's end of story. It's over. When has Dolby failed to be the standard? Come on, it's not happening. Okay. And secondly, they're getting in the OLED game too, so there goes their QLED argument. So QLEDs have their place in a bright environment, but quality control, I don't know. It's tough. I would definitely say that the Dolby Vision thing they have a good market share already. So you add Dolby Vision in, it's not like they got to do a ton, but that'll help,
Okay.
Well, I think Samsung is weaker where they've never been weaker before is Sony's offering all these tiers. A90, A80, X95, X90, boom. LG, QNED, LG C1, B1, A1, G1. Samsung has Q900A, QN90A, and then it just jumps off a cliff.
It is off a cliff.
And
IPS?
But 8 series was always the safe bet.
Yeah,
it was. Even Q8FN was awesome.
Q8
awesome.
And people like the 85-inch QN95 or 85A.
Right.
That's a VA panel, I believe, right?
I think the larger one might be.
The QN85A, the 85-inch.
Yes,
I've had a couple people message me that they really like the 85-inch. It's a VA panel, and they love the TV.
But to me, that's where they're getting hit by all these brands having great LED offerings, then OLED offerings. Yeah. Now Samsung is now so narrow-minded where it's, here's our LEDs. What else you got? That's all I got.
That is it.
It's not for you. It's not for you. Dolby Vision is just, they're so large that I know they don't want to pay the licensing. That's what it comes down to. They don't feel like they should have to. But the point is, 4K Dolby Vision in gaming is going to be revolutionary when it arrives. I just think Samsung, like Motorola and brands before it, are just too cocky and too big at this point.
You bring up a point that not many people may remember when you said the Q8FN, Q9FN. So Q8FN, Q9FN, Q90R, Q80R, and then the Q80R became the Q90T. That's how good the mid-tier was. They promoted that to their flagship Q90T, and of course, people got upset. Go, really, guys? And then they returned to their ways this year with a real QN90A. But Samsung, by pushing their mid-tier off a cliff, consumers are smart, right? I don't think Samsung realizes that for most people, if you put it side by side, you're going to see a huge difference between a Q80T IPS or Q88 IPS versus an X95J, not IPS, even the QNED 99 or 90, although it's IPS. LG's been doing this forever. Samsung, they're just doing it because they're cheap this year, right? You can't just jump into IPS and expect people not to see a difference. And then with OLED dropping to the same price as the QN90A, what is it going to do next year? So my suggestion for Samsung would be definitely Dolby Vision and 4 times HDMI 2.1. They have their own processor. They can do it. And of course, continue doing what you're doing, but do what Hisense is doing. Give me a color accurate mode where I get the bright specular highlights back, because I have to go to standard mode and then my color's all off and I can't even, it's not possible to calibrate the standard mode to make it look like filmmaker mode. I've lost all the specular highlights. You don't have to do that. If Sony could do it, if Hisense could do it, if TCL could do it, Samsung just chose not to do it. I think once they do that, but now they're only as good as everyone else, how do they separate themselves and charge that premium? I think that's the problem.
Well, the challenge is too, is while we're all here talking about it, we're about 3% of what they sell. Walk into any hotel, any bar, that's where the money's made. So they would listen to us right now and literally laugh. They'd be like, look, man, I just sold 5 million units to Ramada.
Yeah.
And that's why they're like, I'm not listening to these dudes. I'm going to go ahead and Put them in the sports bar.
There you go. Hey, Hugo, thank you for your question. Hey, Stop the FOMO. What do you think about the QN90A's poor image quality in game mode due to the performance loss of local dimming? With faded images, would you indicate playing another mode? So, Hugo, we've kind of talked about this often with gamers, and I know KG has a lot of opinions on this because he also has a QN90A. The issue is, if you want that awesome low latency, you can't have local dimming hard, right? I mean, local dimming is processing, it's adding a delay. You can't have it both ways. And you look at Hisense, right? Hisense, it doesn't necessarily turn off its local dimming, but it has issues, right? Its gaming features are compromised as well. QLED TVs or LCD TVs in general will not match an OLED in gaming because to get to the same latency as OLED, you've got to give up a lot of processing. More than half of that is local dimming control. I mean, it is what it is. So,
pixel response is also
pixel response, right? You have literally two layers to worry about. You got the LCD layer, and then you have this local dimming layer. They all have to work together. And the hope was that AMD's FreeSync Premium Pro helps solve that until we can get enough games that is FreeSync Premium Pro certified, and then get a Series X FreeSync Premium Pro certified. Then maybe we can see if Samsung does it better. I do have the AMD behind me, the 6800 that is FreeSync Premium Pro that could do 4K 120. However, I haven't had a chance to find, I think the Dirt 5 is also FreeSync Premium Pro. I'm going to have to build the computer and put it and see if it actually is better. Maybe that will fix it, Hugo. Maybe if you have the AMD 6000 series with Premium Pro, that would fix it. That would maybe bring back the local dimming. It's supposed to.
So you,
I don't know.
What I need you to do, bro, is go buy a GPU at like $2,000.
Yes, right. Buy my GPU, right?
I need you to plug it into HDMI 2.1 where you have one of them. I can solve this in one thing. Have a first-person mode or a low latency mode, and then have a game cinema mode, and just make it more colorful, enable local dimming, and have a bit of a higher input lag. Just have an extra game mode, and we're solved.
Yep.
Have a cinema game mode. The optimizer literally has a low latency, further input lag reducing first person mode, and then disable it all. And I have 14 milliseconds maybe, and I have a more cinema experience. Samsung just needs to have one extra game mode. One is higher input lag that looks good for your single player campaign, and then one for your fast ones.
And thank you for this question, Ile. How is Samsung 85-inch QN90A?
Ile looks happy as hell in that profile pic.
I know, I love that picture. He looks a little bit like Elon Musk, doesn't he?
Elon Musk. You got some money, Ile. Look at you, happy as hell. I shouldn't drink before these, by the way. I really.
So the 85-inch Q90A is bright as heck. It's great anti-glare, wide viewing angle. It's got VRR working, but as you've seen, if you're a serious gamer, it's not a perfect gaming machine. But what is? I think it's a great TV. However, if you only watch streaming and movies, look at the 85-inch X95J as well, or even the QNED99. I think, or QNED 90 85-inch. I think the X95J for sure, though. Well, you guys tell me. You guys seen the X95J. You've both seen the QN90A. Price aside, I know the X95J does have a premium feel. It almost feels Master Series. Which would you guys choose? 85-inch size, QN90A or X95J?
Go big.
Oh, you lost. You need the picture back up. Sorry.
No. Let me bring it up. Here we go. How's the Samsung 85-inch QN90A?
No, I thought that's the question you asked me. Sorry, I was trying to message someone. So say again, what was the answer?
X95, okay, 85-inch size. There are not a lot of TVs in that size at the highest level, right? So we have the X95J and the QN90A. Which would you choose? Assuming price is not a big deal. We're just talking picture quality. And gaming aside, throughout gaming.
Yeah. If you're throwing out gaming, then probably, I don't know. That's still close. I mean, I really, it's super close. Like in my video of the X95J that I made, I said I'd probably lean a bit toward the QN90A just because of if I got a clean screen. But if it wasn't clean, I just say for the safety's sake, you could go Sony. And as long as you understand that there's only 60 zooming zones, it's still a great TV, but if you're in a darker room, I'd probably choose the QN90A.
And I think the 85-inch maybe has over 100 dimming zones. I'm not sure of the number, but yeah, but it is a tough call. Hey, thanks for the super chat, John Carlo Asuncion. Is the 77-inch?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go
The
ahead.
last thing I was gonna say is, like, for most people out there in the world, having either one of those TVs would be absolutely awesome.
Absolutely.
We talk about the differences in them, but I mean, when I go to people's houses, they look at these and they're like, "It's amazing," and I am like, you know what, dude, it looks way better in your house than when I'm picking it apart at my house. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and Samsung also, their color volume is something we don't talk a lot about. It does show up on screen to a degree with Samsung, so they also have a very colorful, beautiful image. So to your point, but Samsung, as much as I recommend them, the quality control and customer service are huge risks at 85. So just know, I mean, though I've heard a lot lately that Sony's not been great with customer service in some regard, but Samsung, that's a big handicap because you may be stuck with it.
And to keep in mind also at the 85-inch, upscaling is very important. So if you watch lower resolution, if you're only watching 4K and maybe 1080p, not a big deal. But if you start going lower down the line to 720 or even 480 at 85-inch size, it will not look good without good upscaling. And I would say the X95J may have that advantage. So that could be something to keep in mind. Okay,
So
thank you,
more
John.
importantly, before we get to John, who's
Yeah,
ready to
go
hang
ahead.
out next Saturday night? Who is ready to hang out in New York City?
I'm gonna be there. I'm ready to go.
Who's ready to hang? I mean, Brandon, you're ready to hang out, right?
I am ready.
absolutely.
All right.
Right, strip clubs, or what are you talking about?
Dude,
Strip
you guys
clubs or
wanna
where?
do-
Brian's
You guys
already
do-
got his hotel room with us, so we're gonna be in the same
I'm
place.
local and I'm staying with you guys. It's going to be a frat house.
Yeah. I got the king size bed on the lower level. I wasn't splurging for the upper levels. I don't need the higher levels.
There was a flood in New
seen
York,
it.
bro. Make sure that room is still there.
I've already seen the skyline in New York. I don't need to see the skyline when I'm up there.
That's awesome.
Are you guys in the chat ready to see us all hang out together? It's going to be fun.
Yeah, we'll be at the shootout, New York City, and we're going to try to run a pre-show maybe, and during the shootout, we're going to have a live stream, but it's going to be us commentary, making snide remarks in the background. So, keep it entertaining. The actual live stream itself, to see the TVs, will be on Spare Change's channel, but on our channel, we're going to have just fun talking live stream, just kind of talking stuff and commentary.
At ours,
and I was going to say slurred words, right? So we'll have fun.
Guess what? He's amazing. My bad, John. Dude.
Hey, John. Thanks for the super chat. Is the 77-inch A80J worth the extra $500 versus the 75-inch X95J? Mostly watching online streaming, some gaming, some sports on a moderately lit room. So X95J, 75, 77-inch, 80J. I got to go with the A80J because I've seen OLED. I can't go back. They're the same size. I would wait a month and save that $500. What are your thoughts, guys?
I would say, look, I'm somebody that really did feel a difference between 75 and 77. I think the difference is more cinematic and the larger. I felt like it was like a 75 felt square and the 77 felt it just had a different aspect ratio to me. So to me, just the size alone, if you were asking me about an X95 at 77 versus 75, I'd get that. With the A80s, it's just a very vibrant, very saturated, beautiful panel. But the size alone is worth the money.
Yep. Agreed. And hey, Classy, when is your... I know you're still here, Classy. When were you planning to do your live stream? Because I know you wanted to do it this evening, this late afternoon as well. And we want to make sure that if you're going to run it, we're respecting your time if you're going to be on later or sooner or whatever. So let the people know.
6 o'clock.
6
Wait,
o'clock?
is it 6 o'clock Eastern, or which? I thought it was...
I'm confused. Let us know. But I know it'll be again shortly, so I just want to be... Okay, so real quick, next up, got some great question here. It's a pretty lively house. I guess it's Labor Day.
Yeah. No, it's
right?
good, man. We're doing a good job. Thanks, guys. I appreciate everyone being here. Click on the like button if you can.
Absolutely. Hey, what the heck? Jerry, my local Best Buy still doesn't carry the X95J. I have to order it. They say it's not going to be in store until October. And this is why, so this is the first time possibly that Value Electronics will get me my TV first, right? I think Robert's receiving my allocation while we'll be in New York, and D-Nice will be calibrating it. And then by the time I get back from New York, hopefully I'll have it maybe the week after. So yeah, Best Buy doesn't always get it first. Definitely call your retailer, call around. If you really want it, call Value Electronics. I know they're getting both the 65-inch, they have the 75 and the 85. He will match any price out there. So call around for sure if you want it ASAP. But of course, if you're going to October, might as well wait until Black Friday, right? What's an extra few weeks?
Jerry, that's one of the reasons why I stopped doing the Best Buy walkthroughs.
There's nothing there.
I had the newer TVs at my house. I was like, wow. They've gotten to the point where e-commerce is just so much more important. Like
Agreed.
anything else, they'll say, hey, look, I know you've heard about this. I'll order it for you. We'll send it to your house. So it's just not you're going to see them disappear, or they'll become fulfillment centers. That's what they're actually becoming already. So having the newest and best, I mean, I'm not even sure the 900A is there yet. Mine. So just don't look for it there. They'll order it if you really want to. But it's a shame because I would love to, and I think that's something we should all talk about at some point. You have to be able to see a TV before you buy it.
Yeah.
And that's why I have a hard time myself personally recommending TCL and Hisense and them. I can't see them. And the X95 is really no different. It is so different in the way it looks compared to the X90 and the 950H and the 900. It's really a totally different animal, and you would not even know that until you get it into your home. And that's wrong to me.
Well, you know what? Speaking of just these newer TVs being released literally this month, I mean, we've been waiting for months for the X95J. I'm getting the new TCL Google TV 6 Series this week. So I'll be able to compare it to last year's TCL 6 Series. So you guys see if there is an improvement besides Google TV. And I'll compare it to the Hisense U8G, which I still have, and the U7G. So for those who cannot make the leap to the X95J, there are amazing options below 1500, which all these TVs cover. So it'll be pretty fun. I mean, Brandon and Brian and I say this all the time. We are definitely in the golden age of TVs. I mean, as much as Samsung may be diluting their quality at their second tier level, TCL and Hisense is doing a phenomenal job of raising their game. So yeah, exciting stuff this year. Hey,
I'll be
Travis
right back.
Sylvania.
Give me 1 second.
All right. Hey, Travis Sylvania, thanks for the super chat. Going with the 85-inch theme. I think you've been listening to Brian too much here.
Heavyweight division, baby!
Besides additional dimming zones, what else may make an 85-inch better than a 65-75? I feel this is a big secret. Okay, I'm going to throw in two things. It's larger, obviously, but it's brighter. Even at the same luminance, right? So if you look at an 85-inch and a 75 and a 65, and you see that it measures the exact same nits, specular highlights, does not matter. It will appear brighter perceptively. We're talking blindingly bright. 800 nits on a 55-inch and 800 nits on an 85-inch, totally different. 65 to 85, totally different. It is so much brighter. And that's why if you go into a 77-inch OLED from a 55-inch, it's going to be so bright. But enough about my experience with large TVs. I know, Brian, what differences when he goes to an 85? What should he expect?
So I'm definitely doing a video, and I'm getting tons of hate on YouTube.
What? Come on, you're a lovable guy.
People think this isn't mine. And they think that I got rid of the A80J. So my gaming position is about 6 feet away, and my movie position is about 8 feet away.
Okay.
And it's perfect.
And that's a 77-inch or 83-inch. 83-inch C1, right.
But I will tell you that all of us that have had HD TVs since they came out, since we got rid of the CRTs, is every time a movie goes into widescreen, no matter how big your TV is, you're like, oh man, the 83 and 85 solves that. You really do get that cinematic. It just looks like a very long, thin, it's beautiful. And it's just amazing, guys. I mean, we're chasing home theater. We're all older. I'm probably the oldest in this little freaking box we have going on. I am the oldest son of a. Anyway, but it was always about catching the home theater feel, and we've lost that with this iPad phone generation. So to me, give me a big TV, and it's the 4K resolution helps solve the pixel density issue. So to me, they're phenomenal. 83 is amazing. 85 is even better. 65 is an iPad. At this point with me.
Isn't that sad? Remember when everyone had a 24-inch and when you went to 40, you were like the big boss in town?
Dude, I had a 32-inch CRT and I was like, yes!
Can you imagine? And that's why you couldn't get larger. You cannot get a CRT larger than 43 without it weighing, what, a ton? Literally?
Well, plasma, I mean, 65 inches was the max. But this TV is larger than me. And there's something, especially whenever you wanted to go with 85 back in the day, you definitely compromised your picture quality. You definitely compromise, even the 900F and those panels from a few years ago, you definitely lost clarity at 85. With these OLEDs, this is clean and it's sharp.
Yes.
And the A90J at 83 is unreal. So we're past having to give up quality for size. So my analogy has always been a bigger man beats a little man when if it's a good big man beats a better little man, right? Now you have a big man that's better than the little man, and he's big. So now you just got them both. You're not compromising any picture quality. The black levels are off the charts. So,
well, it's like as if Shaquille O'Neal could make free throws. Imagine.
Exactly. I mean,
Shaquille O'Neal, 80% free thrower.
Yeah, it's like
it's
the
over.
Greek freak in basketball. You're nimble. But if
he could shoot 80%, then the Lakers would have never split up, and Kobe and Shaq would have had 3 more rings.
Or if Shaq was willing to do a granny shot, he would kill it.
But I guess the narrative, what I'm saying is that the haters and those that say, "Oh, dude, my monitor looks better than your OLED," you're wrong. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Your monitor IPS doesn't look better than this monster behind me.
If you go on YouTube to the gaming dedicated channels, they're gonna say every time, look, it's a great gaming TV, but you go and you watch content, HDR, you're gonna have blooming, right? Whether it's hardware unboxed or optimum tech, there's blooming. There's blooming.
But anyway, when those were PC guys, they play on monitors. What I'm trying to say is, even that group, what I'm hearing now from the gaming community is, yo, man, it doesn't do 240. Like, come on, guys. Really? That's your comeback? It doesn't do 240? What do you want it to do? It's 83 inches. It does 120.
I know. It's a TV. It's a TV.
It does 120.
There's not a whole lot of there's not a big market for like the 83-inch curved gaming monitor,
The Series X doing 240? Yeah, I don't think so.
But you know what? Talk to me when your monitor does Dolby Vision at 120.
Yep.
And it has G-Sync and FreeSync. The thing is, weighs 100. Look how big it is.
And the latency is amazing, and there's very minimal ghosting. It's an OLED, Hey, TechMed, Rainer Richter, always a good question and comment. Friend of mine had DSC issues with last year's Q950T. That was last year's flagship with the One Connect box, and they changed the panel after 3 days in just 1 hour at his home. Oh, Samsung stepping up. So maybe in Germany, Samsung Europe is better than Samsung USA. Or maybe we just have too many people calling and they got sick of us, right? And a reminder from Keep It Classy, it's going to be 6:30 Eastern time. His live stream will be following ours. So yeah, you guys are going to keep it talking. Jump on Keep It Classy Tech. He and KG have a lot to say, and they really go into the technical and gaming details. A lot of good information there, guys.
And I believe that this is he got 5K. He's got 5K subscribers, so it's kind of like an appreciation.
Oh yeah, congratulations, Keep It Classy.
Classy. What's up? Good job. And I know KG's hoping that you get 10,000 soon next month or so.
Young channels, young bucks out there.
Like years to get that.
Yeah, they're growing fast.
Hey Wes, thank you for the super chat. Wanting to move up from a 60-inch Sony, the 85-inch X950H and the 75-inch X95J are close to the same price right now. We sit 12 feet away, 90% streaming and sports. This is a good question, Brian. I know you get this question. What are your thoughts?
It's easy. You're too far away. For 75, my man. And the 950H, the processor is still very good. And if you're just watching sports on it and you're streaming on it, you'll be fine. I would go with the larger. The size difference between 75 and 85 again is massive.
It is significant.
And you're far away. So I would go with the 950H. The X9, that would have to go with the 950H.
I agree with you. And I don't see any mention of gaming or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about the issues related to that. You're just watching sports and streaming, and even the X950H, it had great motion for sports, and it's a great TV,
That's a good thing.
What are your thoughts, Brandon? 75-inch X95J or the 85-inch last year's X950H? He sits 12 feet away.
I think you're talking about
Sony.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know, man. I'd have to probably go with that bigger TV. Is that what Brian said? I would imagine.
Yeah, Brian.
Now you're saying I'm predictable.
I think no. What I'm saying is, I've
What you
learned
need
from
is the
you and other
49-inch
people.
A9S, baby.
Yeah.
That's the one you gotta go with.
No, I've been learning that like you gotta go for the size, man. Come on. And if you were gonna say like the 85-inch X950 or like a 77-inch OLED, then it's like conditions and all that. But
Yeah.
but no, I don't think the XR process. I mean, 10 inches. That's a
That's
good
big.
size difference. Yeah.
But see,
It
back
is.
in the day, to your point, people would say, I want a 65-inch high end, and the 85-inch was so low end from
Mhm.
Costco or those LGs, the 86 inches. So that's where the conversation was always difficult. But now that these 85-inch TVs are absolutely, look, I'm off angle.
That thing looks
Look at
huge,
it
by
from
the way. How
behind
far
me, man.
away is that from you? Behind you? That's an
It's-
83-inch.
Yeah, it's 2 feet, 3 feet.
Gaming heaven, man. That's some
Well,
gaming
the
Yeah,
man
point
when you
cave
is-
back
right
up,
there.
it makes it look so much bigger when you back up like that.
Well,
It's
back
funny.
in the day, you had to give up so much quality for size. Like with projectors, you can get the best projector that money can buy. It'll never match an OLED. But the size wins it. Now you can have both. And that's
Yep.
why I'm so
Agreed.
strong with it. If you were saying, a 65-inch OLED versus one of those Costco TVs, I'd say OLED all day. The size isn't worth it if it looks bad at that size.
Yep.
Or if you have blooming or IPS glow, the size doesn't make any difference.
But now it's so great. And I want to catch some thank yous real quick. Hey, Shamar, thank you for being here. And a
What's up,
great
Shamar?
super sticker from M. Golde. Thank you for that. And here we have Cyber GT's question or comment. Whisper, I have a 2008 Denon AVR 1909 with KEF 3000 setup. I love the sound quality. I'm just not sure if I should upgrade because I love the sound quality. Well, what is it we say? If you love it, don't have FOMO. If you didn't like it, but I don't think you're missing out if you don't know what you're missing out on. So if you are upgrading, why are you upgrading, right? Know why.
The only problem about receivers is pass through, which is devastating because your receiver is probably, I have a Yamaha that's better than the one I have now. It's pass through, and unfortunately, even the new consoles don't have optical to go around. So unfortunately, if you want to enjoy what's new, you have to upgrade. But I totally understand with HDMI or with your 4K Blu-rays, players, they do have audio out separated, but the consoles unfortunately are not going to let you do that.
And I think this question goes. Oh wait, let me comment on this. This channel is dope. Why do we have 2,000 subscribers?
It's our first day, bro.
Black Sabbath. We've only been on for like a month, less than a month.
Yeah.
So it will get there. But you're right. Those of you not subscribed, come on, get on the ball, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. This is a channel. This is just a streaming only channel. So we all have our own channels. Yep. We started this channel like a month and a half ago, and we've added like 2,000 people. So yeah, it's pretty fast.
You guys are awesome. Hey, buddy love. Thanks for the super chat. Hi, fellas. Is the X95J even relevant when we have the Hisense U90G? So let's let the authority, who's seen both, Brian, what do you think of Buddy Love's comment?
It is. Of course it is. It is relevant.
It's more, to me, it's more relevant than ever because it's a complete panel. I mean, it's LED. They've been doing them for years. It's going to me, the X95 looks a lot like the much more expensive Z8H from last year. It's definitely more premium feeling. The Hisense, the styling is all wrong. They have to catch up. The operating system is very convoluted. The about page has like 5 pages to it. I mean, they have to get better at streamlining it. And the X95 is brighter. So it still has plenty of.
I think we need to emphasize that it has great blacks, but the X95 is brighter, and the U90G is limited to 1,000 nits in its peak brightness. So that's something a lot of people don't realize. X95 is going to be way over 1,000 nits.
Well, in the X95, I think the X95, the challenge with those LEDs is people are getting way too caught up in technology. I keep hearing, I can't wait for Sony to step up their game. It's really hard to say to Sony, hey, do mini LED. Mini LED is going to be gone in a few years. Apple's already said they're moving on from it.
Yeah, they're going to OLED.
They're going to go to OLED. So mini LED is just another marketing thing. Samsung or Sony knows this, and they're just going to wait it out and either go to their diamond or crystal, whatever. But it's very relevant. The problem, my friend, is that the X95 was about 6 months late. So if it came out when it was supposed to, it would be so much cheaper right now. You'd be asking me the other question.
Well, speaking of cheaper, here's the question. For around $2,000 budget, would you go with a 65-inch OLED or a 75-inch LCD TV? So maybe the X95J at some point will drop close to 2,000, or a 65-inch OLED. Okay, this is something that we get a lot, right? Larger, good LCD TV, or slightly smaller, good OLED. Like a C1, right? C1 will be $2,000 shortly. Brandon, start off with you. What do you advise your people? 65-inch OLED, 75-inch, same price, but it's an LCD TV, larger TV.
Most people, I think most people in a bright room would benefit from the larger TV. I'd have to say, like, I would have to tell those clients asking, say, you got to go for the 77-inch OLED. I can't like theoretically say, go get that 65-inch OLED. I would tell them immediately, go get the 77-inch OLED. You know, the 2K budget, then you got to wait. I think that the X95J will drop. I mean, they literally can't drop the price because they just came out. If everybody buys this in the first month and then they drop the price after a month, everyone's going to be like, damn, I want my money back.
Yep.
So I think by Black Friday, though, they're going to drop that just like every other TV, I think. Everybody's been super aggressive this year. So, you know, I mean, shit, like all these OLEDs are like $2,000 already. They weren't $2,000 last year in the middle of September. Or beginning of September.
Which is so funny, going back to Samsung, that's what's going to kill them, is OLED has become so affordable.
Right? That extra...
Even when your wife walks in with you, she's like, look how thin that thing is. You're going to grab... And that's I'll say about Hisense.
She doesn't say that with me, though. No, I'm just kidding. Be careful.
But even Hisense, having that badge on their TV, their styling is just it's about 3 years behind. The remote is also, I mean, I like it for what it is, but it still has a lot to catch up on.
Yep.
Yeah. So and anyways, yeah, I think with everyone being so aggressive on these OLEDs, and like you said, the OLEDs are aggressive, man. They got the whole new facility making OLEDs this year, right? Foam, what do you think that has to do? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
You got an entire plant in China now making OLEDs, so I mean, the sky's the limit on what they can do, man.
The 77-inch and the 42, or 48, the two most popular sizes are going to be the popular sizes next year. You're either going super small 48-inch or you're going super large 77. I think they're going to start phasing out the 55 and just keep the 48 and go straight to 65 and 75.
Dude, Brian, that looks hilarious behind you, man. They're like pulling vegetables out of your hair and stuff. It's now there's a crown on your head. It's awesome.
So I have that Michael Phelps wingspan, right?
Yeah.
And it's exactly the arm length. You can't see it. Can you see it? Hold on.
Yeah, mine's 77-inch, and I can barely touch the edges. Yeah, I can get my arms. I can wrap my arms around it. But yeah, I have a 77-inch wingspan, so I got the long arms.
Oh, yeah.
And also, Andrew, keep in mind, if you've never had an OLED before, then you don't know what you're missing out on. And you're going 75, it will be an upgrade to what you have now. However, once you see an OLED, that's going to be a problem. Now you're going to wish you got the OLED. So it's just something to keep in mind. Stay away from people with OLED TVs. Once you get your 75-inch, it'll be a huge difference.
Yeah, well, I mean, and also I want to talk about something real quick. If we're
go for it.
I know it's our fault, but
it is so your fault.
It's definitely my fault because I was the first to bring up this hexagon Venetian blind crap. I talked about that way before Vincent and everybody else.
You did?
That never, because I had the big TV and those guys were like, it's beautiful. Lights are perfect.
Right. People accuse you of being a fearmonger. Remember that?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, because of burning. You guys got to take your nose off the screen. All OLEDs have banding. Every single one of them will have some banding in grayscale at 5%. There will be that hexagon if you know what you're looking for. You guys got to just, when you focus those eyes, then back them off one step and just enjoy it. Because trust me, you guys are sending back way too many OLEDs, and it's just part of the panels now. And I know my point is, while we're saying they're great, I think you guys are rolling up to them thinking they're absolutely perfect. And this thing has some banding. They will. I mean, it's impossible to have them totally clean. But I think that's something everybody has to come to terms with. They're not going to be perfect. Screen uniformity wise is what I'm saying. But if you're looking for problems, guys, you're going to find them. Trust me.
And this is to Oat Dude's point. I was waiting for the reviews of the X95J forever, but when the QN90A 75-inch went on sale for $2,800 in July, had to jump. Happy to see all the great reviews, but he loves his TV. And that's exactly it, right? You got the TV, you love it. No need to regret your purchase.
No way.
And hey, a quick correction here. I was saying maybe it'll be way above 1,000 nits, but once you calibrate it and it's accurate, it is at 1,000 nits, but it's full screen, APL, very bright. And who knows what the U90G, once accurate, what its peak brightness is. So we can't wait to hear what D9 says about that. So that should be interesting as well. And thank you for the super chat, Artful Dodger. Hey guys, great to chat with you all. So if you can't go big, if you can't be Brian, does that change the quality or value equation? 9 feet away, max 65-inch. Well, no, because at 65 inches, you got a lot of great options now. You don't have to spend so much to get amazing TV at 65 inch, because now you got the QN90A, the X95J. So 9 feet away, that's kind of far. I would like it to be a bit brighter. So I would say X95J or QN90A, but then you want to go standard mode in the QN90A because it gets super bright in standard mode. But if you go into color accurate mode, the QN90A may not be bright enough for you, ironic enough. But what do you think? 9 feet away, 65-inch TV. What do you think is the best value? Or the U8G, by the way. U8G is a value and bright TV.
The OLEDs are still pretty expensive at 65, I believe. I think the AAH is way too expensive. The CX, I think, I would try to go with either, the newer panels from LEDs, but I would go with the last year's OLED if you can, because 65 inches is actually pretty beautiful for OLEDs as well.
I think so. Especially if his room is not too bright, because normally OLED isn't dim. I mean, it's pretty bright, especially if you sit 6, 7, 8 feet away. But 9 feet now, I mean, it's not too far. I mean, 9 feet's okay. I think OLED would still work. Yeah, if you're okay paying.
Sorry, you're also good with like a UHG. Like you said, there's a lot of people, a lot of the average consumers.
UHG is so
a Hisense UHG is an amazing TV for you. It's you could get 2 of those in a bedroom and a living room and be stoked and be out at half the cost of that would be the same cost as one OLED. So there's a lot of good options. We just try to give you guys like the best options, which then hopefully we don't create more problems than we're solving.
We create so many problems. And the comments take those problems and then go even farther with it.
Hey, Spillage Village, thanks for the super chat. Another regular. You guys see the news of Amazon entering the TV wars? Yes, I did. I forgot to mention that. Through its own model as well as procuring through TCL. Anytime Amazon enters a new space, it provokes reaction from competitors, which could benefit us. So I'm going to talk about this real quick. TCL and Amazon's quote-unquote own model. So what this news is Amazon is going through TCL and have TCL make an Amazon-specific TV, but then they're designing their own, also Amazon TV. But what a lot of people don't realize is whoever is making the TV for the Amazon branded TV is still going to be either TCL or someone else. So Amazon does not have a TV manufacturing. What it's doing then is it's using TCL as one source of an ODM/OEM, and it's using another no-name source. So on the one hand, TCL's doing it for them. They've named that manufacturer, that OEM. But on the other hand, it's a mystery company that's doing it, which is probably going to be their budget version. Maybe they're going to use the same one Vizio's using, right? Because Vizio also uses an ODM to make their TVs. I'm very excited about the TCL one because we know that TCL is fully vertically integrated. They're able to have all their stuff, all their ducks in a row. On the Amazon brand, I suspect that will be their true budget TV that takes over for similar to an Insignia or Fire TV. But I'm looking forward to seeing a budget TV below 1,000 again from Amazon/TCL. And I know that Amazon will be subsidizing both TVs through their Fire OS. So they'll be able to charge a bit less, but hoping that you will stick with that Fire OS, and they're going to make up the difference in cost by advertising and all their services and Prime and stuff like that. But are you guys curious about the TCL/Amazon brand that's coming out, the budget TVs?
No.
I know, I'm not either.
For like the old college dorm or the old,
there you go.
the spare bedroom or something. But if I go to someone's house and I'm like, they need a bunch of Roku with Spectrum app or YouTube TV or rental house or whatever, I go to those kind of houses and people are like, I need a quick, then I'll but Amazon, what they do is they take what everyone else does best and they steal it and sell it themselves. That's what they do, man.
Yes, they do. Yes,
but
they
you know
do.
what, too? I never trust like the very wealthy friend that's like, hey, I think about doing that for, it's like they pick up a hobby. It's like Google Stadia. Like, oh, it's Google. It's got to succeed. It's Amazon. Yeah. It's got to No, it's
no. Yeah, Google Stadia is the perfect example of yet another Google
best. I have the money, but it's something they do as a hobby. It's not their main thing. So they're just going to.
And Facebook, right? You know what? We have 200 million. We have to spend 200 million on new things every year. Maybe something will stick, and they have to spend
Oculus,
it. That's it.
Oculus would have been so much better without them.
All right, guys. VRR guesses. Thanks, Phil82, for that question. Super chat. Will Sony have a 4.2.1 HDMI2 and VRR 2020? Blah blah blah. The answer is, will MediaTek have it? Don't ask if Sony will have it. If MediaTek has it, everyone will have it. If MediaTek doesn't have it, it's out of Sony's hands. Sony is not making the SoC, which determines how many 2.1 ports. Now, Samsung and LG makes their own SoC. That's why they have it, right? On the One Connect box, Samsung has it. On LG, they have it. So unless TCL develops it as well, then maybe they'll access it or source it from TCL. But right now, Sony's at the mercy of MediaTek. So thank you for that. Hey, William, thanks for the super chat. I surprised my wife with a 55-inch Samsung, the frame. Oh, that sounds like something Brandon would do. I've never seen a woman get so excited for a TV.
Look at William. First of all, look at William's profile pic. William basically bought his wife a frame. Look at his profile pic. William, what are you rocking in that profile pic, bro?
Man, I
love like a UFO system.
Dude, I didn't tell anyone, but Brian doesn't know this, but the Samsung frame behind me got hit with my boom stand. So I had my big boom stand that sits here with my backlight that I can turn like blue. I opened my door and I turned around and looked at my wife, and my wife goes, ah! And she screamed. And as she was screaming and couldn't do anything about it, the boom stand hit the screen right there and dragged across the screen like a 20-inch scratch, dude. It's brutal.
Ouch.
At the top, it dented it so much that it like discolors it.
No.
But that's where the white bar is, and we only really use this. But then the rest of it, it's just a scratch across it. But it really pisses me off. I'm really not happy about it.
That's awesome. And William, I'm curious, right? I've never seen a woman get so excited for a TV. Let us know how she paid you with gratitude after that, right? That's so awesome.
Let us know how she likes the peak brightness. She's like, what? It looks like a painting. The end.
I know, right?
People love that TV, man. Honestly, even dudes like it. They're like, because it's primarily an art piece, and then it's a TV second, and it gets 500 nits in SDR. So for cable, no one notices. And, it's like in most Samsung, like we were talking about, those Samsung TVs underneath like the top 2 or 3, they get crap HDR, man. I mean, it's like, they're like 500 nits and you can barely see light from dark. It's hard to differentiate. But the Samsung frame's a solid TV for watching cable, watching sports, and displaying the art, man. That's what it's for.
Yeah. And well, to that point, the frame is technically, if you were to put it in their tier of picture quality, it is below their Neo QLED series. It's not a Neo QLED, and people love it. I mean, his wife is or the other guy whose wife just puts it on vivid mode with soap opera. I mean, like it looks great.
In soap opera.
I believe it is a Neo QLED, but
is it?
It has the mini LEDs, and it's a QLED. So I don't know if it's a Neo QLED.
Right. It's a QLED, but I don't think it has
mini LEDs this year. It's okay, maybe not. Right. It's thinner. It's only like an inch. It's like it was an inch and a half last year. Now it's like 3/4 of an inch thick. So could it do that without being a mini LED?
My 65-inch is just under an inch. My 65-inch TV is just under an inch thick, so it's possible. But it's going to cost them a lot more than what maybe they're selling it for. Hey, Jared, thanks for the support and your super chat. FOMO is real. Yes, I am. Had the 77-inch A80J. Perfect. Just too small. Swapped it for an 86-inch QN90A. Bloomfest. And that was what people were complaining about. I know B was... Didn't you get a lot of hate, Brandon, for like just going about on and on about the bad blooming, right? But can't go back to LCD.
People basically told me that people were like, I knew he was going to trash his TV and all that, but was what it was. Anyway, sorry.
It is what it is. Yeah. And okay, so you'll load on the 83-inch A90J. You know, you only live once, and we kind of go with that theme, but you shouldn't compromise your kids' college education for that. Just saying. Nevertheless,
Go to state school.
I agree. Yeah, go to community college.
Pick up a
right?
trade. You'll be all right.
FOMO is gone. Absolutely, Jared. And this is something for all the people. Is if you have to wait an extra 2 months to save up for that good TV, why not? Right? Just save up, right? A cup of coffee, give up on coffee for a month or two, and you got a couple $100, you can upgrade. Because people keep TVs long time. And these TVs, man, they're going to make you so happy for so long. I loved what Jared did.
But
what are your thoughts on that?
What I love too is what B said is, you know, they're predicting he's going to trash the TV, right? None of us sell them. And I get comments all the time where people are telling me what they've read and what they've heard. I have the TV in front of me. I hate to put it that way, but I have it. I own it. I'll tell you what I see. It's not my opinion. But when people tell me what someone else has said, Brandon had it. And he's telling you there's a lot of blooming problems with it. So I think that's where the comments get a little out of hand, is people are telling me what they've read. And I'm like, guys, I have the thing in my lap. You know, so that's where we do provide that extra bit of value with what we do and the time we spend and the money we spend. Is that you can tell me what you've read. I'm telling you what I've seen, and it's a very different perspective. Agreed.
Yeah.
And thank you, TechMed, for being here and your generosity.
For sure.
It's late. Not many people know TechMed Richter is in Germany. So we always get great insights from him. And if you have any questions about an 8K QN900A, he's got it and he loves it.
Yep. And I still want to, I still want to see it, but yeah, like Brian said, it's tough to like get these expensive TVs in here. So I want to get an opportunity to get the Samsung Neo QLED. Yeah, and you're right. I don't know what I was thinking, but the frame is just a typical QLED. So,
well, anyways, with Black Friday coming up and it's dropping in price like crazy, you're probably going to be able to get the QN90A now, 55 or 65, a lot less than when you would have before. So yeah, it's a good time to revisit it, maybe, right?
For sure.
Well, and also with you guys now in the heavyweight division.
Oh, I know we are.
Something that other reviewers, and I'm going to say this in a certain way, that's something other reviewers, the largest reviewers, can't say. It's not practical for Ratings or Vincent or any of them to review have panels this large. So when we say the C1 is brighter at this size or perceived brightness, that's something that none of your other reviewers can really confirm. And these panels are ours. This is what I did buy this myself. This is not a loaner. And that's some of the value that we have as what we each individually deliver. But in the heavyweight division, the numbers are going to be a little bit different than what other people, measure. But that's something the other reviewers with these smaller panels, they review something and they send it back. It's just something that's just different. That I think but my point is, I'm not saying appreciate what we're doing, but it's not easy. And these panels are not cheap and they're not free. And
I didn't get the QNED99 to bash it. I mean, I got it because I thought it could be good. I got it because I was hoping it'd be like. I mean, we think we said it on a stream or something. We're like, it's gonna be dope, and I'm like, I'm getting it. I don't buy a TV for me to then crap on it. That's not why I buy it.
Yeah, but the thing is too is think about us keeping it. Like, this is mine. This is the TV that I chose for my own enjoyment, for as long as I can, and that's my. My giving it, my sponsoring it or giving it my kudos is that it's that good to me anyway.
Yeah. And Buddy Love, thank you for the super chat. You guys didn't create any problems for me. I'm all in on the 83-inch A90J. Just waiting for the wife to allow me to get it. Remember, Buddy, William, he's never seen a woman so excited. So maybe she'll be excited too.
Buddy, we're all married here. This is the advice, is tell her it's more expensive than it is. Right? Yep. Throw it out there. Beg for it, then don't say anything. And then little by little, tell her, hey, I'm just saying, if I got this, I'll leave you alone. I'll be fine. And then oh my God, it's only $8,000. It works. It'll take you 7 months, but you'll wear them down. But just keep, hey, honey, you want something to eat? Oh, by the way, the A90 is beautiful. Just happy Valentine's Day. A90 is beautiful. Throw it in every conversation.
Right. what kind of gratitude will you show you? When we asked William how his wife showed him or what gratitude she gave him, his comment was, I can't say, guys.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right, man. Keep it to yourself.
There you go, William.
Hey, thanks, Stephen, for the super chat. Guys, thinking of getting an 83-inch C1 or an A90J, is a 2-year-ish, 1,000-ish Geek Squad warranty worth it? Hey, just real quick, remember, if you get the new total tech support that starts October 5th, they will cover you for 24 months at $200 a year. That ends up being only $400, getting that same 2-year. So call Best Buy and say, hey, if I get your total tech support, aren't you going to cover me for 2 years anyway? If I just renew it for 2 years, it costs you $400, and everything else is discounted. Their installation services, you got a bunch of Nest cameras. So I would go with a total tech support without having to buy the Geek Squad warranty. And I think this will end up phasing out the Geek Squad warranty unless you get 4 years, right? But if you pay $200 a year over 4 years for something this expensive, I think now it begins to make a case for itself. So, but what are you guys' thoughts on the Geek Squad or extended warranties and stuff like that for the 83-inch expensive TVs?
Well, for me, the question he has is fascinating because he's willing to pay. The difference between the C1 and the A90J price-wise is big. So is he saying C1 with the warranty and the A90 without the warranty? Between the two of them, if their prices are the same, the A90J to me is it's a better looking panel, and the processor is definitely better. I think it's a beautiful panel. The C1 is just more complete, has more features, and is cheaper. That's where I would go with it. As far as the total tech, you didn't put that in the question of it being a factor. I would go with it if you want. I personally don't buy extended warranties. I don't think they're anything over a year. The manufacturer has me, so I don't find that to be a value. But between the two TVs, the A90J to me is a better picture quality, and it's definitely, especially the Master Series, the sound of it. But the C1 is more complete and cheaper.
Yep. And here's a guy with a slightly greedy question. We get this all the time. FOMO. I play games, but I'm not a gamer. But I want all the gaming features. But I love movies, and I want a TV that upscales perfectly. Which should I pick? Go with the Sony A80J 77-inch.
Yeah, it's tough. I love them both, but I know that Dave Whelan was saying in his comments that he found that ABL to be annoying when playing games on the A80J, but
yeah,
I think that's a great TV. I think both of those TV, you're just gonna flip a coin and pick one, dude. They're both good TVs. If it was the A80J or C1, like Brian was saying, I think the A90J is better, but the A80J and C1, they're so damn close. I think that's why the video that I made about that, a lot of people are watching those kind of videos to figure it out, but tough call, man.
So the A80J and C1, it really comes down to more HDMI inputs and a functional eARC, which the A80J struggles with. But Sony's, the processing, it really does. I mean, I think the C1 at 4K and even 1080p looks similar to the A80, but the A80 just makes even the worst films look good. I mean, I'm watching really low old movies, and it looks fantastic. So for the best overall, I think the A80 still has, just because of the processor. But if you want more features, again, all the gaming features, you're going to have to go with the C1. And if you want more HDMI inputs and eARC. My point with all this is, guys, it's hard to pay more for less features.
Yeah.
And that's what Sony's doing to everyone. It's saying, hey, look, man, pay more, but I'm going to offer you less but better picture quality. And that's a hard balance for people.
If anyone's a gamer, they will always have, even a casual gamer, you always feel like you're kind of missing out, because even when the PS5 gets its VRR, its TV's VRR will just not compare to either Samsung or LG unless they update their SoC, the system on a chip. And MediaTek, they're not doing well with that VRR right now. So it's something you guys have to accept. If you do want, or what Kasi and many of us do, get two TVs, right? Get a LG smaller OLED for gaming, and then a larger TV to enjoy your movies. Or Brian, a 77 or 83-inch C1, which ends up being so cinematic because it's so large. You'd be happy if that was your movie, right? Movie watching TV.
Spoiled brat, but having a 77-inch A80J and an 83-inch, it's amazing. But as DJ, and I know we have DJ and David both in the chat, almost next to each other. DJ is saying ABL is all personal dimming. I think ABL is very interesting, a lot like motion artifacting. It can bother some people to where it's unwatchable. I have the 80J, I game on it. I've not had one issue with ABL, but to DJ's point, where he says it's a personal, some people can, motion really bothers me. So I had problems with that. So I think both of them are correct. David may have been very bothered by it, but I haven't had any issues with the 80J. And what my point is, ABL, people will say it's a deal breaker. I have not had any issues with any of my OLEDs with ABL. Yeah,
especially if you don't take the brightness up too high. If you keep it below the ABL trigger setting, and Class A has exactly what brightness you need to be to avoid it or minimize it, it's not an issue. The problem is that they kind of push their TV to the brightest peak luminance, and you're watching hockey. Yeah, you're going to hit the ABL limiter. Real quick, Lynn. Oh, go ahead.
Hockey's the one.
Hey, thanks for the question, Lynn. I wanted to address this real quick. We should ask Robert, because he will have the A7000 soundbar. He will make the connections. Technically, you should be able to do that, but I'm not certain because I don't have the A7000 to test for you. But the binding post terminals do act like real binding post terminals. So if it receives enough, the right wattage and so forth, it should play it as a center channel. I haven't used it as a center channel yet, so I can't confirm myself, and I don't have the A7000. But yeah, terminals are real terminals.
Why does Sony? Why can't they pick up some new names? They got an A9 camera, an A9 home theater. They got an A9 TV. It's like, dude, just pick some different model numbers, man. It doesn't have to be the exact same. Same with Samsung. They literally make the soundbar name the exact as the TV. So
agreed. Hey, Jared, thanks for another super chat. The QN90A is probably LG's best LCD TV. It is its best ever. Just once you have an OLED, it's hard to go back. And that's what we always tell people is when they ask for a suggestion.
It's a low bar too, dude.
Have you had an OLED? No doubt. I have a PS5, but rarely play it. Totally dark man cave, 95% 4K UHD. You totally got the right TV with an A90J, man. You're gonna be so happy. I tell you, you're never gonna change TV. Some people are still rocking their plasma until it dies on 1080p. They're completely happy with it.
When I was saying this to foam off camera for Jared is watching Godzilla vs. Kong at 83. The black bars, it does give you that projector feel where you feel like with a projector, it's almost like the screen goes to the content. You don't feel like there's black bars at all. It just feels like the image is what it is. Where on LED, you're so reminded that, okay, these things are purple and they're there and they're bothering me. And it reminds you of how small your TV is. When the black bars are on this, all you see is the image. And the contrast ratio makes that pop, and the specular highlights, then the black bars just melt away.
Agreed. And hey, you're never going to go back, Jared. You got the TV, hold on to it, because the next time you upgrade, whole different new technology. Hey, Cyber GT, thanks for the super chat. I wish I had a bigger wall, but my max size is 55 inch. How small is your wall, my friend? But only 3 feet away from my 32 LG UK bedroom. Or so, 4 by 7 foot small room. You need to move to Texas. You got to go to Texas. Come to America. Go to Idaho, right? Get these giant barns of a house.
That's massive, bro.
That's Mark. That's Mark, by the way. He's in the football league. So Cyborg GT his name's Mark. Just FYI. So he's one. Brad Smith is in. Andy Kills You is in.
Awesome.
And then Tech, me, you, and FOMO so far.
Yeah, reminder everyone that just joined us, we have a fantasy football league, and check out what one of our community pages or somewhere here. We're going to paste the link.
They can mess. I'm not going to paste the link because then people can just sign up. So I want people to be 100% in if they're going to do it.
They're going to be in.
Message me on Instagram. Message at B_the_install, and they can message me there to join it. And KG's working on it too, so we'll do it offline. That way, we're gonna have the on Wednesday will be the you got to be dedicated. But on Wednesday we'll have the draft online and we'll have it streamed so everyone can see everyone's draft picks and all that. Be fun.
Agreed. Okay, this is a question I think Brian gets a lot. Thanks for the super chat. Dispiz35. I love these names. He went to Best Buy to buy a 75-inch X95J. But they were selling the display open box 85-inch 950H for $2,000. What should I do? And the display model is the only one available, of course. Okay, Brian, when you get that question, what do you do? Because you're always at Best Buy. You know what they do with these display or demo models. What are your thoughts on his predicament?
Unfortunately, those panels, I mean, it's not an OLED. Those panels are on from about 9 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. And they're running content all day long. It's just, you're talking about a display model and an open box in a way. I hardly ever recommend open boxes, let alone display models. Just too many miles on it, my friend, for $2,000. Yes, a $2,000 85. I think the way you're thinking about it is, wow, for $2,000 I can get an 85-inch. The problem is the 950H has been on display much longer than it normally would be. It came out in February of the year before, well, 2 Februarys ago. That TV's been on for much longer than it normally would be. Typically, they're 7, 8, 9 months. You're going to go be like 2 years that thing's been on display. I can't recommend you pay $2,000 for it. I know it's attractive because it's 85 inches, but it's just too much money for a display model, in my opinion.
Agreed. What are your thoughts on these open box deals? If it's the same price, or it's a really good deal, or get a new one but slightly smaller or slightly
So the challenge with open boxes is that when I was bringing my TVs back to Best Buy, they had dead pixels, flash lighting, bad screen uniformity. And when I went back to that store, all of my panels were there as open boxes. And there was no literature explaining the issues with them. So there's a very small chance somebody bought the wrong size and returned them. Most times somebody brings them back because of a dead pixel. They're not going to put that there. So that's why I don't recommend them unless financially you can't swing it and you want to try. So basically, if you can buy a flagship because finances are tight, then go for it as long as they honor the warranty. But most times there are issues with them. My TVs were all there. They were all defective, and they were all open boxes.
That's weird. Normally, they're not supposed to do that, so I don't know why they did.
They did.
But I've had a lot of people return TVs over the years and stuff too. But they normally will take those back to they'll get them out of there. But the good thing is they do normally come with the full warranty, so you get the same warranty. But I guess Sony does not. I was told that the Sony, once it's an open box, the warranty is then voided or something. So be careful.
Then you got to get a Geek Squad for sure. Then
well, Samsung won't. The problem with Samsung is they will not reconnect the retailer, so that's on you to sell it, unless it's damaged, unless there's a crack in the screen. Samsung is like, hey man, you're on your own. Samsung will repair it for you, for the retailer. They won't just honor, hey, send them back to me, there's a problem. They'll say, hey, look, it's on you to sell it. That's Samsung. So that's the problem with how they roll.
Agreed. And just a reminder for everyone, we'll be closing out this live stream shortly. So final call for questions or super chats. And I'll be heading over to Classy. Keep It Classy text live stream for a few minutes to catch up any questions we may have missed here.
Yeah, I'm going to jump over to wish them a congratulations as well.
Oh, yeah, of course. Keep It Classy. If you don't know, he's hit 5,000 subscribers. Congratulations. He'll be big time in no time. I would like to think of Classy as our version of Vincent Toe in a few years. Classy, right? He is going for his certification, ISF, calibration. He's serious about this. This is going to be his job. So, yeah, if you have any technical questions, throw it at him. If he can't answer it, he will find a way. Because if you throw questions at me, you know what I do? I just text Classy. I'm like, hey, dude, what do you think? I mean, I'm like, what do I know? Right?
Like, I'm playing with the kids.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
What's up? Techno Dad in the house, too. What's
up? I'll see you Saturday, kid.
Yes. Hey, Brian's trying to set up an old man's frat boy party. So, Chana, make sure you come and ready.
For dinner,
Chana, be careful. Chana's TV fell. Your TV fell, dude. My kid just hit it with I'm kidding.
Oh, Jesus. If that fell on your kid.
I actually turned the TV around facing the wall so no one messes it up over the next couple days while we're not using it, because I'm like, I ain't putting it back in the box quite yet, but I'll at least turn it around so that it doesn't get damaged.
Yeah.
Hey, Chana's one of the few, or TechnoDad is one of the few that has had time with that new high-end Blu-ray player, the Revon, right?
Yeah,
and it's expensive, and I'm wondering, what is its true value proposition? And it turns out it'll play all regions. So I think that's it, right? Right, Chana? If you want a Blu-ray player that's not an Oppo, you don't want to overpay for the Oppo, now you have a region-free Blu-ray player
Yeah.
that will play everything. And I think that ends up being the reason to get it. If you guys want European Oro 3D, did you try any Oro 3D content on that yet? Techno Dad, let us know, man.
Well, Techno Dad said also it just seemed like the upscaling was on point. Like he was watching a lot of content. And he said it looked good.
I did? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really tempted, but I'm like, man, I wonder what the support is like on that stuff. Because if they have it on Best Buy, you know, maybe that Geek Squad warranty would help out. I don't know the company itself, but I think it's the same as Zapiti. It's the same distributor as Zapiti. Maybe they'll give the same level of support. So, but yeah. Oh, and Techno Dad, if everyone didn't know, while on live stream with us, he hit 100,000. So
That's pretty funny.
he's our $100,000 man.
He's the big man on campus.
So while
Big man
Techno
on
Dad's in the
campus.
chat, what do you guys want to do for dinner Saturday? You guys want steakhouse? What do you think?
You guys are the
I went to
locals,
this-
man.
I went to this Italian joint it's a trifecta something. It was so good. Italian on the west side, man, it was good.
Is it
I
by
had
the
a-
hotel?
No, it was like a few. I mean, it's across the other side of Times Square. We got to take the 7 train across town, but it's not really worth it to go that far. There's a lot of places to eat.
Well,
I
of
would
course,
go. I would go for a nice steakhouse. I would absolutely love that.
because the subways are basically non-functional at this point.
Oh yeah, dude.
So,
How are you? Is everything good up by you?
I'm fine, but I mean, I drove home from Value Electronics, and I was like, "Wow, the rain's pretty heavy." And then I got every alert, but New Jersey had a tornado. I mean, New York
Yeah.
subways are completely shut down, so we're gonna have to stay within walking distance, most likely.
Oh, I thought they were. Some of it was back together. It's not yet.
Not from what I've heard, but we'll probably be walking around our hotel. But that might be better for us to hang
They got
out.
some good buses too. I mean, you know, the bus. I normally when I come get like a 7-day Metro card, but I won't for 2 days. I'll just pay. You know, I'll just get like a Metro card with like $10 on it or something. Yeah, we can take a cab though too, or whatever.
Quick
It's gonna be
reminder
fun.
to
Let's
everyone:
get
click
that
like,
read
click like. If you enjoy this content,
Yeah,
click like.
Watch us.
What? There's 260 of you, right?
Yeah, we've had a good amount of people today. I mean, when we do these on our own channels, normally we get like 500 people or so. So we're getting up there. I think just a lot of the people that we normally would have notified aren't getting the notifications. So if you like these, definitely make sure you subscribe to this channel because, you know, I think at least 100 people have subscribed today. So
Thank
Nice.
you all. Yeah. And we have fun. And we're not the only ones doing the live stream, right? So Brian, Whisper Status has
Yeah,
the occasional
absolutely.
drunk live stream that I love to attend.
Like 4
You know
hours,
it's
baby.
true.
dude, you called them out.
And of course,
Drunk
Techno
Uncle.
Dad has
Drunk Uncle.
his Hi-Fi Summit live stream. If you guys love talking audio,
Yeah.
head over and Techno Dad
the
will be there
Hi-Fi.
answering anything about audio and speakers and subwoofers. Then, of course, Classy and KG has their
Yeah.
live streams. So, you know, we're all one big happy family doing our thing to help you guys out because these things are expensive, you know what I'm saying? And nothing worse than buying and regretting because you didn't know what you needed to know. So, but hey, let me know what you guys have this week. What's happening, Brandon? What's happening, Brian? What's in store for us this week?
Go ahead, baby.
I got my so I did the 83-inch LG C1 unboxing video today. It's posted. You can check it out. My wife helped me. She was there the whole time cracking jokes. It was pretty funny. And then I got next video should be coming up. Should be an OLED video. Kind of like my preferences on OLED and how it relates to gaming and stuff. So that'll be one. And then I'm going to be I'm going to be with you guys. So we'll have a little bit of time to talk about it and figure out what we should be all doing for Black Friday and all that. But I'm going to be doing some comparison videos and start rounding into form here while we get to the holiday season. But a couple of frame videos, that kind of stuff. So just having fun and definitely feeling good today, man. I had a hamstring injury. I don't think I told you, Brian, but man, these muscle relaxers got me pretty calm.
No wonder he's so calm.
Dude, you're looking
Oh, man.
Dude,
I've
you've
been
so
chilling
happy.
today, man. I just been chilling. I'm cool. I'm
Right.
cool.
Well,
Let
you
Brian
know,
talk today. I'm just gonna sit here looking at the screen.
I love it. I love it. Hey, Brian,
He's
how
like,
about
wow,
you?
is this wallpaper moving? It's moving.
Shit's been moving, man, for real. Like, I'm
He's
feeling
losing
all right.
focus, right? As we see.
My hamstring is loose. The rest of me is loose too, man.
I actually have a throwback video for the Pioneer Kiro Elite. I have a video that I love. Those don't get a lot of views, but I do love shooting them. I have a couple tech therapy videos planned. I'll be back at Value Electronics to do the Hisense projector review. This is that short throw projector they have. Follow up with a little bit of the Hisense footage. But but just I haven't done much content. Just work's crazy and life's busy. But I try to jump on here to keep in touch with you guys. And I can't wait to, more than the shootout, is to connect with you guys personally and see each other live. And I think before we get off, even having tech with KG and Classy, having all these positive guys together, it's just a very toxic. YouTube is very toxic, and I feel like we combat that so well being together. It's like we're this Avengers of TV crew, and I think it's awesome, man. We'll all be together, and we'll be watching the best TVs in the world go at it. We'll be next to each other, shoulder to shoulder. It's gonna be amazing.
I'll have my A90J T-shirt on. So I'll be
what's the prediction before we go? Let's get a prediction real quick.
The winner of the shootout.
Yep, you have a 4K shootout, and then you're gonna have the 8K shootout, and then they're gonna go against each other.
I'm going to predict this. Since they have the mastering monitor there, I think the G1 will come closest to the mastering monitor, but the judges are going to complain that they like the X90J better. So we're going to have some discussion, and that's my prediction, right?
The A90J.
Yeah, the A90J, not X90J. No.
Like, wow!
So we're going to have a discussion about creators' intent, I think, because I think the A90J is going to pop, but the G1 may end up looking closest to the mastering monitor, and we're going to have a good discussion about that, I think. I mean, that's my prediction. So I think the G1 will win on accuracy, but the A90J may get editor's choice or something equivalent to that.
Yeah, go ahead, B.
Oh, no, that's it. I got nothing to add to that, man.
All right, my winner is... Yeah. Go ahead. Go.
No, I was saying, it's not going to be a technical decision for me. I mean, I'm talking about, like, I got a backlit remote. Game over, man. That's it.
You're like, I got new batteries right next to me, a whole case.
I'll tell you right now, the A90J, the speakers come out at you. The G1s point to the floor, man. So, like, there's a lot of things you could look at it from. They're talking picture quality, and I get what you're saying, but there's a lot of other things I could point to too,
So this year we're going to have the 4K shootout, which will have the Hisense will be in that, the X95 will be in that, the Samsung QN90A is going to be in that, the A90J, the C1, you're going to have a ton of TVs there. I think the A90J is an easy win on the 4K side. And I do believe the LG ZX still falls under the 8K this year, kind of like a Master Series. I think that wins the 8K shootout versus the QN90A and the Z9J. And then I think it beats the A90J. So my prediction is the LG ZX as the shootout overall winner. That's an interesting point. All right. Okay. Well, that's a wrap, everyone. And I'll have the TCL 6 series, the new Google TV, being reviewed this week before I head out. So I'm going to compare it to the old last year's R635, this year's R646. So check out that content before I head out. Hoping to put up maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Okay. And until next time, pass the remote, everyone. I'm heading over to Keep It Classy Tech's live stream, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. See you later, guys.